Hello, my name is Juan, and I'm gonna show you how to replace. I have a problem. This is a Toyota Highlander 2015 LE. Has a V6 3.5 liter 2GRFE engine, and apparently in this car and some other Toyota models, they have the same situation when this part here. I'm gonna try to better illustrate this part here. This is a BBT oil pipe. It goes from the bottom, the header block, all the way tapped here to the cover, and it's just bringing oil to the BBT. And it has this banjo bolts. It has one here on the top, one out on the bottom. I've seen some videos from some other people have similar situation where that tubing goes there. Used to be a flexible band, but this one seems to be metallic. Anyway, it is leaking. I can just kind of pause the video and show you on the bottom. The bottom connection is leaking. It has some gaskets or crossing washers there. You probably can see one there for this upper connection. Seen in the internet and other videos that is this lower connection is harder to remove because there is a power steering palm there, but this particular model doesn't have that one, so it's going to be easier removing the bottom banjo bolt. In this case, it's going to be harder to remove this one on the top because you see there's no room enough there for a wrench and a socket and to remove the banjo bolt. There's this, try to get a better visual. There's this cover here which is holding some of the wires, and there's no room up there to remove the banjo bolt, but not enough to place a wrench, torque wrench there. So let me show you how where the leakage is and how the bottom connection looks like. So that drop over there is oil, and it comes, I'm sure you can see it from here. We're gonna have to remove the tire to better show you where that bottom connection is. Yeah, you can see here, it's in the upper corner of the video. That's the banjo bolt and the tubing, and you can see it's a lot of oil there. So when I try to replace the part and fix it, so I have removed the tire and safe it, and then place a support there. It's not actually laying on the supports in the cab. It won't come down. It's not hydraulic. You see it's a big mess there. See, I've seen this kind of oily and dusty, and that is because, and you can see there's some oil also down there, some drops, and this has been happening for a while. This air conditioning condensing. So I noticed this when I replaced the brakes, different video, and I was researching to see what can be done to replace it, and found that this is a very common problem with Toyotas. I mentioned that 3.5, and there it is, the banjo bolt. You can see the tubing or the pipe is there. Trying to get my hands in there. You probably have here had a better indication of the problem. This is the tubing, and this is the banjo bolt, and this is where it's leaking. You can see it's a lot of red reddish brownish kind of color there. This one's gonna be easier than what I've seen in other 3.5 engines, because the power steering pump is not here. This to be electrical. It's gonna be a lot of cleaning here. It's a good thing it didn't actually damage something else, but I mean, it's just a matter of time. Those connections there missing, they're the same supports for the steering power pump, but it's not there. This car has a different setup, so it's gonna be fun. So in order to remove this, we'll start from the top. This lower section is gonna be easier, I think so, compared to what I'm seeing on the internet with other guys with similar problem, and we'll see how it goes. So I have procured myself more illumination. This is daylight, but it's almost done, so I need to hurry up. It should take a couple hours to replace this. Over there you can see there is that cover there with the barcode, it's part number there. It's a shield, and it's actually covering the tubing that goes down there. Where is, yeah. So the shield needs to be removed. Apparently there are 2mm bolts to make it, to be able to remove that. And as I said before, to remove this one here on the top, the banjo bolt, I'm probably gonna have to remove that engine harness wiring kind of support there. You can either open it, since something you can open it, and get since the wiring is flexible, get it out of the way, so you can make a wrench, torque wrench there in the banjo. Or I'm gonna have to remove the bolt that is down there. I'm sure you can see it. I can barely see it, but there seems to be a bolt down there, and you can remove that. This is gonna be the only really complication on this one, which is way easier than the other models I've seen, where they have to remove the power steering pump. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to show you the new parts and the tools that you may require. Okay, so this is kind of a summary. The part itself is this pipe or tube. The Toyota part number is this one. In case you need to order, it has a banjo connector here in the top. This one that goes in top, and the banjo connector down here in the bottom. And that goes like this. There. I'll get it out of the wrapping later. And that comes with, oh, you need to order, oh crap, this gasket. This one comes pre-assembled, you know, together. I think it's for the harder part, probably for the bottom one, but in this case it doesn't really matter. Both are easy to. And this is the outer washer or crushing gasket. There are 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, not vice versa. Then it matters. This typically will go on the bottom, which is a harder allocation. And these are the banjo bolts. There are 2. And there are 17mm. And this one seems to come with a washer. No, it would be one washer here, then the banjo connection, and now the washer with the connection and the blocks. And these are the Toyota part number for this. So I order all this from Toyota OEM and planning to replace it. We'll need ratchet tools, we'll need 17mm sockets. I think this tool is going to be very useful, particularly for the upper section, since there is not a lot of room. I was planning to probably insert this ratchet here on the right side and remove it. This is metric, and I believe either this one or this is better quality. This is 19 millimeters. I'm not sure you can read it. And the other side is 18, 16 down here in the bottom, and this is 17. So they should match that banjo connection. Actually, I can place it there and it should fit perfectly. So it's gonna be easier removing it with this, right? See, there's not a lot of room. The problem is gonna be when I need to torque it, it's to the right torque, and that's very important for this one. I also got my Highlander manual for Heinz. Not very detailed on this particular matter, but I also downloaded purchased Chilton for this. This is 2015, this is for 2014, and it will show you, this is the piece we're replacing, the part we're replacing. You see the tube, I'm not replacing this one. This is a 10 millimeters bolt that keeps the tube fixed to the block, that bracket, but I'm replacing this bottom. This is the one that I showed you before, that is assembled. And then we have this banjo bolt here, and up here there are two gaskets on top, filter, which I'm not planning to replace. It should be there, and you need to be very careful not touching the mesh, but and ensuring there is no debris or dirt when you reinstall it. This needs to be clean oil going to the PPT and the other banjo bolt. And these are the torques, the ones I'm going to be using my US custom feet per pound or pound feet torque. So those banjos are 48 pound feet, and that brace is a 10 millimeter 7, so it's pretty much nothing. That manual of the meter shows that let me find my flashlight, that shield there. So the shield, being told, is 10 millimeters, and I'm gonna have to remove it. In that case, you're probably gonna need this tool or a smaller size ratchet to get it out of there. So I'm going to start removing stuff and show you how it looks. First things first, I removed that cover. You can see now the hall tubing going down there. That you probably can see kind of in the center. That's one of the bolts, 10 millimeter bolts, and the other one, it's hard to get there, you know. I tried to do it without having to remove the support. It's probably easier, but I don't like messing with too much stuff. The other one is down there. You can probably see both there now in the middle of the video. And this is the tubing. There's another one there. You see, it's still there. It's kind of between this two, that well, the baffle. There's another 10 millimeters there that holds the tubing in place from top down to the bottom. So that's next I need to remove. Aligned my camera, and then I'm gonna tend to remove the top first. There's gonna be some oil spill, so any measure you can take to avoid a mess will be great. You can use some cleaning wraps and that kind of stuff. Let's see how it goes. I'm sorry, I probably didn't record this. So I've removed the bracket again. So this again. Down there is a shorter bolt. It's this little one with a sort of washer there. These ones are longer. The other ones for the shield. And what I'm trying to figure out now is how to remove the banjo bolt, but I realized there is not enough room there. You see, this is the part, and the land is actually longer than the space there. So if I pull it, You have to bend to remove it, and there is a filter in this end, right there. It's not there, it's existing. I don't want to replace the filter, and there's no room enough there to remove that. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to remove that harness there. Try to show you this one there, that piece there. Assuming there's a bolt there underneath, I'm gonna have to remove so I can have more room to place my wrench and remove the banjo and the filter. The filter is crucial. You don't have to touch it or mess a lot with the mesh, so you want to make it a straight removal so it doesn't get broken. Let's see how it goes. I'm sorry, it's not recording. So I removed that harness support. There's one bolt, another 10 millimeters with a washer, and there's also plastic support that goes all the way through the body, and it's kind of close to where the coil is, suspension coil is. Hopefully you can see it. It's a hole there. There's two bolts as the air conditioning supports. That hole there with my flashlight is lining, that's where that support goes. So we need to, when we do this backwards, we need to secure that plastic fastener first, and then the metal one. Okay. Next step is going to be removing the upper banjo. You see, now it's easier. We have room there for tools, and it's also going to be easier, or relatively easier, just put some torque there. Yeah, initially I'm gonna torque it as much as I can with my hand and other tools, and then going with torque wrench and applied 48 pounds foot-pound, which is what the manual says it's supposed to be for that 17 millimeters. Before doing that, I'm gonna just use a lot of, you know, cleaning cloth. This is paper placed there so you can collect the messy oil, and see it goes. Apply that there. Haven't break the bolt connection yet. We'll do it, and it will spill oil. What I'm trying to do is try to keep it clean before I remove the banjo bolt and the filter, because the filter needs to be in very pristine condition when I put it back. Well, breaking it was need a little bit of leverage there to break the banjo bolts out. It's here, but surprisingly it came without a filter, and that's not right. It's supposed to have a filter there. I don't see it. I'll try to probably eliminate this better. Do this with the other hand. Getting my flashlight here. You can see the other gasket there, still in place. The tubing is still in place. I need to remove the lower section, but I was expecting the filter to be up here, and it's not. It's weird. So I'm gonna figure that out. And when I remove the lower section, what I'm gonna do is, once I remove the tube, and I think it needs to be removed from the bottom, I'm gonna replace the banjo bolts just to keep that all those openings for getting dust, and then I'll try to reposition the tubing. It has some plastic covers on it, and place I believe I'm gonna place first the one at the bottom and just fix it there with a banjo bolt, and then I'm gonna try to fix this one on the top. My main concern is the filter didn't came out. I see it didn't, at least I didn't see it coming out, and maybe it's still fixed there. So I need to remove this carefully. The filter is a very important part, and I don't want to mess up with that one. So I finished the replacement. It's running fine so far. It's been running for already 24 hours. Mainly the hardest part was actually not the banjo bolt or anything like that. It was actually that bracket, that cover shield, those two bolts, and the bolt that braced the oil pipe to the block. That one was very hard to get in there. I didn't remove this support. That's probably didn't have well enough there, but it's probably a good idea doing that. The bolt in the bottom, I'll show you that in a minute. Well, already installed the wheel, and the banjo, you see it's over there. It was not very hard to get it there. I think probably the harder part was trying to get the torque wrench there with that space and this steering bar there. There is no room now, so you need to have the right adapters and the right wrench to make that happen. I tried different combinations of adapters, and I found one that allowed me to apply the 48 pounds to torque. That'll be it for this one. Do you think this video has been useful for you on fixing this problem or similar one? Just let me know. Just click. I'll see your comments. Subscribe if you can. I'll try to keep doing as much as I can mechanical work on this Toyota. Probably finishing more videos in the future. Thank you very much, and good luck.